Hi everybody, my name is Sarah Bryant with the Bible Journaling Ministries creative team. Today we are learning how to use acrylic paint and some bubble wrap to create a fun, simple background as we journal in Romans 1:16. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. Today I am going to create a simple background using acrylic paint and some bubble wrap. I have seen this done quite a few times and I have been wanting to take a stab at it myself, so that's exactly what we're going to do today. So I am going to be using the Romans 1:16 Not Ashamed printable that you can find in the Bible Journaling Ministries shop on the website. And that is at www.biblejournalingministries.com/store. And again, I am using the Romans 1:16 Not Ashamed printable, and I have just fussy cut the images that I would like to use today and kind of laid them out how I think I want to use them on my page. The other supplies that I have are just some scissors, a handful of pens, a regular drawing pen. This is a Zebra Sensations one. I have some Jelly Roll and souffle pens here that I may use, and then I have a handful of different acrylic paints in a handful of different colors. So, I also have an ink stamp here and an ink pad and a date stamp as well. Oh, and a highlighter also, if I decide to use it. I grabbed an orange highlighter. So, all right, so I think I would like to just go ahead and move my printable items off of my page so I can start on my background. Really quickly here, I just want to set them on my page, and we are in Romans 1:16 again, and so let me go ahead and read that here. I'm in my illustrating Bible. It says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew and also to the Greek, for it is the righteousness of God, for in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith." So we're focusing here on 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. So that in itself is just amazing. And it just tells us how important it is to not be ashamed of our faith, and also in that we should be able to share freely with other people so they can get to know Jesus as their Lord and Savior, and so they can be saved also. So that is wonderful. So I am just going to go ahead and jump right in here. Let me move my supplies around just a little bit. Okay, and I just grabbed a few colors of paint here that I thought might work well with my printable. So I am just going to, put a little paint on my glass mat here. And let's see, so I have some orange here, and I have a few different kinds here. I have some Craft Smart, and this is Americana. I have some orange and some dark red. Some really dark red, that's nice. I like that one. So I'm just putting a few drops of my paint here on my craft mat. Oh, on my glass mat here. I'm getting it on my finger also. And I have some apple barrel paint. This is a brown color. Just get a little of that there. And I have a little bit of white also. Yeah, this is just a white color. Okay, so I thought a few of these colors would go well with my printable again. And I have some glitter paint too, some gold. And this is Art Skills glitter paint. And I got that one from Dollar General, guys. There are some really inexpensive paints out there. Huh, I can't get any out. Let's try that again. There we go. There are some really inexpensive paints out there that work just fine for journaling. They really do. So I have just really used my paintbrush for this stuff before, but I wanted to see if I could try a little something different here today. So I want to trim I just have some bubble wrap here. I just wanted to trim off a few little sections here. No real rhyme or reason. I just wanted to, this kind of has some holes in it. Let's trim that guy off and not use that. So I'll trim off a few pieces here, get that guy out of the way. And then I think I just want to put a little in my paint and just apply it directly to my page here. And I do not prep my pages. You certainly may, but this is my illustrating Bible. And so let's just, this is just going to be kind of like a test for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little paint on here, and then I'm going to smush it around kind of also to get it in maybe a larger area on my bubble wrap here, and then I'm just going to lay it down, I think, directly on my page like so. Maybe even smush it around a little bit once I've done that. And just some different areas, different designs. There's a little more paint there, so you just kind of get it on my page in just a fun design. Oh, I also have my page protector here behind the page that I am painting on. So you want to keep that in mind. If you're going to paint in your Bible, you want to protect it in some way. I'm just going to add some brown and some white. Just see what happens there. I really didn't have any specific design in mind here, clearly. I really just wanted to do something totally different than I've ever done before. And this is really fun. You just kind of have to, that's a really dark color. I really don't want to cover up too much of my words if I can help it. So just kind of thin it out here a little bit on my bubble wrap. Oh yes, that's nice. So 16 is right down here. Okay, I don't want to cover that brush for sure on this page. I'm trying to get a little more color throughout my page here as I can. These are really pretty colors and they really do blend in. I'm going to try to kind of smush that color out a little more. They really do blend in really well with my page. So I am really liking that. Let's get some of this gold on here. Maybe a little more of the light brown. This is really fun. I have not done this one before, and so I just wanted to kind of play around and see what kind of fun thing I could do with the bubble wrap. Because there's just so much that you can do, and I had never done anything with the background using bubble wrap. And so that's what I wanted to try today. I'm not a huge fan of covering up the words in my Bible, but sometimes I do a little bit, but that's okay. Let's get a little more of the brown and the white on here, perhaps. Okay. Now, I want a little more of the white, perhaps, if I can. Get a little more of the lighter color there. Awesome. Okay. So, let's do some of the gold and kind of do that number right there. Okay. Now, awesome. Okay. That really is just a pretty circular design throughout the page that has similar colors to my printable here that I'm going to add to this page as soon as it dries. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and I will be back with you momentarily to finish the page. So my page has pretty much dried. I think the only part that isn't really 100% dry is the gold glitter paint. And that usually does take a little bit more time to dry, but that's okay. So I am going to use this adhesive. It's a permanent adhesive runner. It's a Tombow one, and I really like this one. I am going to attach my printables here. Let's just lay them out. Yep, I just bumped that gold paint. It is not dry. I'm going to just take my paper towel here and kind of dry it up a little. There we go. Okay, I am going to start putting my printables on here. I'm just going to use my tape runner on these and put them on here. I put a little gold paint on this one, which is actually kind of nice. Makes it kind of shiny and pretty. I like it. So let's get this out of the way here. Sometimes I use sticker paper, sometimes I use glue in different ways. This time I just decided to use my tape runner. It's a permanent one, and I really like this tape runner. So, but once it's on there, that's pretty much it. You don't really have a second shot to move these ones around with the Tombow permanent one. But that's okay. So I wanted to put this down here. Let's kind of try to get it close to the edge of my page here if I can. And if I go over the edge of my page a little bit, that's fine because I can just trim it off. Or else I can just go up a little bit from the bottom of my page, which is fine too. You can kind of see a little bit of the paint that way, and I'm kind of preferring that at the moment. So let's just put that right there. I like this printable because as we're going into the fall season here in North America, I just love these fall colors, and it just helps me to think about not being ashamed to spread the gospel for some reason. I don't know. It's just a good reminder for me. I think I'm going to cut this word fetty apart. If you know anything about me in journaling, you know I like my big word fetty, so I really like this one. I think I'm going to cut it all apart on the top. So I wasn't for sure if I wanted to leave it together or cut it apart. So I left it together in case I wanted to go that route, but sometimes I prefer it apart. It just kind of depends where I'm working in my Bible and the space that I have to work with. But this way I can kind of do something different. I'm going to spread that out a little bit there. And let's see. Here we go. I like that because I can kind of spread it out on the red a little bit, and it kind of gives it a nice background pop on that red. And it kind of splits up the orange there too, which is nice. Let's see, I am not ashamed. There we go. That's nice. And I like this little candle because it has the light on it, and I like that we are the light of the world, so I wanted to put it in here somewhere, somehow. I wasn't really set on how I wanted to have this 100%, so I just kind of move my elements around. I like that because I like the berries. They're nice and fall colored, and I can kind of sneak them in behind the candle. I like that. I really like these leaves also. Maybe I can put a leaf up here, kind of on my tab, but the pumpkins are really cute too. I could put a pumpkin down here on my shirt sleeve here. or even down on this side if I wanted to, because I've kind of covered up my words a little bit down here, which I'm not really used to doing that, but that's okay. Maybe this other leaf kind of layered in behind this one, just right at the edge of my Romans, and I'm probably going to right over my paint there a little bit so that Roman sticks out a little more, at least right there. But that really is kind of preference. Maybe a pumpkin down in the corner. I have this other pumpkin and this acorn, which are really cute, but I don't have to use every single element that I was planning to, even though I have it. It's not a requirement. I think I like it the way this is because this white pumpkin kind of evens the flow of my page here because of the white candle up on top. And I like that. And I may scoot this down a little bit to kind of center it. And go maybe like that. I like that. Okay, so I am going to keep adding my, you can hear the frogs. Maybe you can hear the frogs. I can really hear the frogs. Although this past week we have been hearing an alligator grunting at night, and so we have a pond directly in front of our house, and we're 99.9% sure that we have an alligator in it at the moment. So we are being extremely cautious until we see him so that they can come and take him out, because they won't come to remove an alligator unless you have seen it first. So we are being very aware and of course not going near that area. But yes, we have a little pond, and by little pond I mean little. When this pond is empty, it can be mowed, of course, in the summer, which my husband did, and then of course now we have really tall grass in it, so you can't see to the bottom of it. But I would say it might be at its deepest 6 feet, maybe in the middle, maybe a little less. And so yeah, it's kind of interesting. This past week I was just sitting here doing a little work, and I heard this grunting noise, and I was like, oh my, that sounds like an alligator to me. And so I told my husband, and sure enough, he has heard it over the last few days, and then our neighbor also now. So that's one of the interesting things about living in Florida, alligators. So there you go. I'm going to use the back side of this paper to get some of my stuff on here. There we go. I don't know where that came from. It was just random. I haven't heard the alligator tonight, but we are pretty sure he's still out there. So let's get this leaf. These leaves are so pretty, and I really do love fall. I love fall leaves. And I didn't grow up in Florida, but I still do love fall. Okay, let's get this on here, and I will do some final details here with my pens, I think, and my highlighter if I can. Let's get this stuff on. Okay, work for me here. There we go. Okay. So, kind of right about there. And I love being able to spend time in God's Word and not really have to worry about everything coming out perfectly, because the point isn't that it comes out perfectly. The point is that you're spending time in God's Word and that you're hiding it in your heart. That is the point. Bible journaling allows me to do that, and I really enjoy it so much. And learning fun little quick techniques like something like this that are, well, if I would use it the correct way, then maybe the I was doing it upside down here on my, okay, there we go. Now, doing fun little quick techniques like this that aren't some long drawn out process is just a nice quick way to be able to really dig into whatever verse or chapter that the Lord is leading you to, and you don't have to worry about really too much detail. It just kind of makes it nice to be able to have something in the background. If you're using a printable, which I love doing because they're really easy to work with. I think I just tore a little bit off of that eye, but that's okay. We're going to do a little more with it anyway. So there we go. And let's see here. Let's see what the top of my page looks like here. Okay, so I need to get this guy up here first. I think I'm going to get the stem and just cut it off there, since it's not going to be seen anyway, and then I won't have to mess with the adhesive on that tiny little part. So that's kind of helpful for that. Okay, now I have that pretty much attached to my, okay, there's my berries. Let's get it back kind of in the same place. It doesn't have to be exact, but close. All right, then my last element here is my candle. And again, I really like this. I really do like candles a lot. They're so relaxing sometimes, and they smell nice. And just a good element, I think, to wrap up this page. Okay, let's get that off of there. Come on, there we go. And this one just reminded me so much of how we're supposed to be the light of the world, and so I really liked that reminder of not being ashamed. Oh, let's get that out of the way, right there. Okay, close my adhesive up. So now I am going to put it over there. Okay, I would like to underline my verse here. Let's see. 16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. Yes. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want it to stand out here. Okay, so let's do around my letters here. I think I'm going to, let me see if I can angle this and still keep it. I'm going to do a little work on my letters, so I just wanted to angle my Bible a little bit here. So I'm just going to kind of trace around, not perfectly, my word feather here. And again, this is a Zebra Sensations technical drawing pen, and I like it quite a bit. I am fond of my Micron pens. Microns are kind of my go-to if I'm note-taking or underlining in my regular Bibles when I'm studying. But these particular pens, I have found in my journaling that I have been able to write over my gelatos with them. Not something you can do with Micron pens because it ruins them. But these I have written over my gelatos with, and they just keep on writing. So, little side note there. So I just wanted to get these to stand out a little bit more here. Maybe a little something like that. Maybe a little something like this over here. Okay, now I grabbed a handful of these different colors. I like this bright orange. Let's see. This is a souffle pen, and Sakura is the company that makes them. And what these are is that's a pretty bright one, so you can probably see it. They dry kind of with a texture to them. And I really like the way that they look. It takes them a little bit of time to dry, so they may not completely dry here when I'm with you, but they're really nice, and they come in, my gosh, a handful of different colors, which is really nice. And so I thought it would be nice to add some of those on here today. And this is, let's see, maybe the gray around the pumpkin a little, if I can do that. Just to kind of give it a little more pop off the page here. I like that. And again, this is one of the souffles, and it will dry just with a little bit of texture. So it just gives your page a nice extra texture to it when it dries. I am going to, I think, add some white to this if I can. Come in here, maybe just in a couple areas where there's dark, and go around and add a little bit of white. Some places you're not going to be able to see it here, but okay. I got a little bit of white in there, and I think I want to go in my Romans here. I may do that later, actually, since this is wet. I don't know that I want to go over this part yet, but I do want to go ahead and date stamp my page so that it can really be, yeah, that gray looks like it's coming close to being dry. Okay, so what I have here, let's see. What I have here is just, it's an Illustrated Faith date stamp. And I have a black VersaFine ink pad. This is an onyx black one. You can use whatever you have. You don't have to date stamp it. You could write your date with a pen if you like. Totally up to you. A lot of people like to date stamp things. I happen to be one of those people. And just want to ink up your date stamp. Let's see where I want to put it. Maybe down here on her. Or up here. I'm wondering if I want to also use my highlighter on this. Okay. Get my date stamp inked. I think I want to put it down here, actually. Beautiful. There it is. Okay. And I think I am going to use my highlighter. I have this orange one. Let's see if I have a lighter one. I have quite a few highlighters here. Oh, that one. There we go. I think that's a good idea. I think the orange was going to be a little too dark for me on this particular page. I want to highlight my verse, not cover it up per se. Oh, yes. I'm glad I did that. That's nice. I like that color a lot. This is a mild liner, and it says the color is orange, so that's nice. I really like that. Okay. So here is my finished page. I hope this has helped you. to not be afraid to just jump in and try a new technique, go ahead and grab some of that bubble wrap and just go crazy. I hope this tutorial encouraged you to dive deep into the Word today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can be notified when we release new videos. Goodbye.